By 2025, Prince Harry, once the charming, roguish prince who captured hearts worldwide, had become a faded star in Montecito, California. After stepping back from royal duties alongside Meghan Markle, he sought to redefine himself as a philanthropist, author, and beacon of personal freedom. His carefully curated Instagram posts, promoting Meghan's American Riviera Orchard brand with artisanal jams and inspirational quotes, projected an image of authenticity and purpose. But beneath the polished facade, a darker narrative was brewing. Whispers of Harry's descent into alcohol and drug abuse began to surface, painting a picture of a man unraveling under the weight of his own choices. Grainy photos from Montecito parties showed him bleary-eyed, unsteady, a far cry from the vibrant prince of old. The British media, masters of narrative manipulation, pivoted from vilifying Harry and Meghan for betraying the monarchy to casting Harry as a tragic figure in need of redemption. A headline from the Daily Express set the tone ablaze: "William must pull Harry from the depths of addiction before it's too late." The headline didn't just spark controversy, it framed Prince William as the cold, unyielding brother standing in the way of Harry's salvation. Why was William, the steadfast heir devoted to his duties, being painted as the villain? Why was the media pushing a narrative that Harry, drowning in his own excesses, deserved a royal lifeline? And why was the public, once enamored with Harry, now turning against him in droves? Harry's exit from the royal family was anything but quiet. Alongside Meghan, he unleashed a barrage of public criticisms through a bombshell 2021 Oprah interview, a Netflix series, Harry and Meghan, and his memoir, Spare. They accused the royal family of racism, aired personal grievances, and targeted senior royals, from Queen Elizabeth II to King Charles and Queen Camilla. Harry's claim that Charles had cut off his security, endangering his family, struck a deep chord of betrayal. His attacks on Camilla, branding her a villain in his narrative, were particularly cutting, reportedly pushing Charles to his limit. These weren't mere family spats, they were calculated blows, monetized through multi-million-dollar media deals that turned royal pain into profit. Now, a new shadow loomed over Harry: allegations of rampant alcohol and drug abuse. Insiders described wild nights in Montecito, where Harry, once the life of the party, now appeared lost in a haze of liquor and illicit substances. Paparazzi shots captured him stumbling out of exclusive venues, his face gaunt, his eyes vacant. A viral X post summed it up: "Harry looks like a ghost of himself, drunk, disheveled, chasing a high he'll never catch." Another user wrote, "This isn't the prince we rooted for. He's traded Buckingham Palace for a bottle and a pipe." The rumors weren't just gossip, they were backed by reports of concerned friends and neighbors who noted Harry's increasingly erratic behavior at social events. William, watching from London, was said to be heartbroken but resolute. Sources close to him revealed he had confronted Harry about his substance abuse, urging him to seek help before it destroyed his life and further tarnished the royal name. But Harry, defiant or unable to hear, brushed off the warnings. William's criticism wasn't rooted in anger but in duty to his brother, his family, and the monarchy. Yet, instead of private support, William chose distance, believing Harry needed to face the consequences of his choices. The British public, especially royal fans, rallied behind William. They hadn't forgotten Harry's betrayal of Queen Elizabeth, whose final months were marred by his public attacks. Now, his alleged addiction only deepened their disillusionment. An X thread read, "Harry broke the Queen's heart, trashed Camilla, and now he's trashing himself. William's right to draw a line." The British press, from The Sun to Daily Mail, had once torn into Harry and Meghan for their royal exit and tell-all exposés. By 2025, however, they flipped the script, portraying Harry as a lost soul drowning in addiction, desperately needing William's rescue. Journalist Charlotte Griffiths, once a neutral observer, led the charge with sentimental columns. William must be the bigger man, saving his brother from ruin. The narrative was clear: Harry was a victim, and William was the obstacle to his redemption. But this wasn't organic sympathy, it was a calculated PR campaign. Leaks from Harry's team, including whispers of a reconciliation meeting between his aides and Charles's, were inflated into tales of heartfelt reunions. The reality was far less romantic. No face-to-face meeting occurred between Harry and Charles, only staff discussions, framed by the media as a breakthrough. An ex-user scoffed, "Reconciliation? Harry's team talks to Charles's team, and suddenly it's a family reunion?" Classic Sussex PR stunt. The public saw through the charade, their anger fueled by memories of Harry's accusations of racism and his attacks on Camilla. The addiction rumors only hardened their stance. A viral X post declared, "Harry wants forgiveness without accountability?" After hurting the Queen and now spiraling into drugs and booze, William's right to shut the door. The media's attempt to whitewash Harry's actions clashed with a public unwilling to forget his betrayals. Amid the media storm, William stood as a pillar of stability. He attended charity galas, military commemorations, and global climate initiatives, all while raising 3 children, including George, the future king. His life was one of duty, discipline, and quiet resolve. A stark contrast to Harry's chaotic appearances in Montecito. Photos of Harry at brand launches and podcasts showed a man adrift-tired, disheveled, his speeches rambling. An ex-user noted, "William's out there serving the nation. Harry's serving cocktails and chasing clout." Another wrote, "Look at the photos. William's steady. Harry's a mess. The difference is night and day." William's criticism of Harry's addiction wasn't personal, it was protective. He feared Harry's behavior would further erode the monarchy's reputation, already bruised by years of Sussex drama. Allowing Harry back into the royal fold without addressing his substance abuse or past betrayals would signal that disloyalty and recklessness carry no consequences. William's stance resonated with the public, who saw him as the guardian of the monarchy's future. An X-thread gained traction. "William isn't the villain. He's protecting his family and the crown from Harry's chaos. That's what a future king does." King Charles, portrayed by the media as a grieving father yearning for reconciliation, was far more guarded in reality. He refused to meet Harry face-to-face, allowing only aide-level talks. Charles was wounded by Harry's attacks on Camilla, which crossed an unforgivable line, and deeply troubled by his son's alleged descent into addiction. As king, Charles prioritized the monarchy's credibility over personal feelings. A source close to him said, "Charles loves Harry, but he can't let a wayward son undermine the crown. Welcoming Harry back without change would betray the public's trust, especially after the pain of Queen Elizabeth's final months, overshadowed by Harry's public assaults." The British public, particularly royal fans, rejected the media's redemption narrative for Harry. They demanded accountability, not only for his past attacks on the royal family but for his current spiral into alcohol and drugs. His haggard appearances and erratic behavior only fueled their frustration. An X-post went viral. "Harry's drunk, high, and expects a royal welcome after trashing the Queen and Camilla? William's right to say no." Another user wrote, "He broke Elizabeth's heart in her final days. Now he's breaking himself. No sympathy until he owns up." The memory of Queen Elizabeth's final months, marred by Harry's actions, lingered like an open wound. Fans recalled how her frail health was compounded by family strife, much of it attributed to Harry's tell-alls. His addiction rumors only deepened the sense of betrayal. A Reddit thread summed it up, "Harry's not a victim. He chose this path, attacking his family, cashing in, and now drowning in booze. William's protecting what's left of the monarchy's dignity." On Defend, Harry's story was more than family drama. Was a cautionary tale about loyalty, responsibility, and the cost of betrayal. The media profited by stoking conflict, casting William as the villain to keep the saga alive. But their efforts clashed with a public that saw through the PR, tricks leaks, timed appearances, and sympathetic articles from journalists like Griffiths. Meghan, though quieter in this cycle, remained a silent partner in Harry's strategy, her brand tied to his narrative of victimhood and reinvention. William, by holding firm, protected not just his family but the monarchy's legacy. He understood that forgiving Harry without accountability, especially amid his addiction, struggles would weaken the institution at a time when public trust was fragile. As spring 2025 loomed, The question wasn't whether Harry could return, but whether he could confront his demons and rebuild what he'd broken. Harry's fall was a tragedy of his own making, not a tale of victimhood. His descent into alcohol and drugs, whether exaggerated or true, became the focal point of William's criticism, not out of cruelty, but from a desperate hope to save his brother and safeguard the monarchy. The media's attempt to spin Harry as a prodigal son, with William as the heartless gatekeeper, revealed their hunger for clicks over truth. But the public, scarred by Harry's betrayals and unmoved by his current state, refused to buy the narrative. They saw a man who had traded royal duty for Hollywood chaos, who had hurt Queen Elizabeth in her final days, and who now seemed lost in a cycle of excess. Charles, torn between fatherly love and royal duty, chose the crown. His refusal to meet Harry signaled that even a king's heart has limits when trust is shattered. William, standing resolute, embodied the monarchy's future steady, dutiful, unwilling to let personal ties undermine public trust. Harry's story wasn't about redemption, it was about consequences. His PR stunts, from leaked reconciliation talks to carefully timed appearances, couldn't erase the damage. The public demanded accountability, not absolution. As the spotlight faded on Harry's Montecito life, one truth remained. The monarchy thrives on loyalty, and William was its unwavering guardian. Harry, lost in his own narrative, would have to find his way back alone.